Meine Damen und Herren, ich will Sie ganz herzlich willkommen heißen, liebe Freunde, auf das 35. Internationale Dokumentarfilmfestival hier in München, in unsere wegen dem Coronavirus spezielle Edition DOK at Home, DOK.fest at Home, so heißt das. Und ich bin sehr glücklich, Ihnen den Film Il Pianeta in Mare vorstellen zu dürfen, der auf unserer Sektion Panorama läuft. Und heute ist alles anders. Heute, also normalerweise hätten wir jetzt eine Stunde Zeit. Ich würde ungefähr 20 Minuten mit dem Regisseur reden. Hier würde Elisabeth Hamberger sitzen und mir dann ihre Fragen oder dem Regisseur ihre Fragen zukommen lassen. Heute ist alles anders. Unser Regisseur befindet sich in einer Situation, wo man ihn sehr, sehr schwer erreichen kann. Und wir probieren das jetzt miteinander. Moni, das ist weg. Entschuldigung, es ist alles anders heute, aber wir werden es hinkriegen. Der Film Il Pianeta in Mare hatte auf dem Filmfestival in Venedig 2019 Premiere. Er läuft hier heute in unserer internationalen Premiere und jetzt rufe ich Andrea Segre an. Du hast auch schon auf laut? Wir sind sehr gespannt. Wird es klappen? Wird es nicht klappen? Vielleicht kann ich schon mal verraten, dass er viele Jahre an diesem Film gearbeitet hat. Andrea Segre ist aus der Gegend um Venedig, ist dort aufgewachsen. Er hat sozusagen einen Film gemacht, der sich mit seinem eigenen Umfeld auseinandersetzt. Andrea Segre hat also das würde man nennen Researcher in Sociology of Communication, also Kommunikation, Soziologie der Kommunikation studiert und dort einen Master gemacht und beschäftigt sich die ganzen Jahre schon mit Migration, mit Refugees, mit Situationen außerhalb einer Gesellschaft oder wie Gesellschaft im Wandel und auch in diesem Fall wie Industrie im Wandel, was für eine Rolle das spielt, wie sich Gesellschaften verändern. Wir versuchen immer noch, ihn zu erreichen. Vorhin bei unserem Test haben wir das tatsächlich geschafft. Wir haben kurz mit ihm gesprochen. Vielleicht darf ich schon mal verraten, er ist irgendwo in den Bergen, in einem Haus eigentlich fast ohne Strom oder ganz ohne Strom, auf alle Fälle ohne Wasser, und er ist dort mit seiner kleinen Tochter. Das ist natürlich nicht ein ideales Setting, um ein Zoom-Filmgespräch mit uns zu führen, aber er freut sich sehr und wir werden ihn irgendwie noch herkriegen. Die erste Frage, die ich ihm jetzt, wenn wir jetzt diese viele Zeit gehabt hätten, gestellt hätte, wäre: Wie ist er eigentlich, also man muss wissen, diese Gegend, Marghera in der Lagune neben Venedig ist eine der wichtigsten Industrieareale Italiens. Und jetzt ist er da. Andrea, hi, this is Elena. We're on air already. How are you? Hi. Maybe I just talked our public, our audience, that you're somewhere in the mountains, that the situation is very, very special. And maybe I just get into asking you the first question. How are you dealing with this whole situation? What does it mean to you right now as a filmmaker and as a person to live this moments?
Okay. So this is the question already?
It would be, yeah.
Okay. So but right now I'm in the middle of nowhere, near Rome, where I live, and yeah, so it was, of course, something really special what we lived and what we are living, and somehow the reality goes beyond the fiction, and so somehow I think directors should somehow stay silent and try to understand, and not to be in a hurry to tell or or to say something, and I'm trying simply to reflect and to try to understand what this situation is telling us about the meaning of life or something like that.
I mean, you did focus on the meaning of life and of the meaning of society and industry with your film. My first question would be, how did you manage to get the permission to get in one of the most important industrial areas in Venice? How did you manage to film there?
It was a big chance, and so actually, for sure, the occasion of the centenary of this area was an opportunity, and I tried to follow this opportunity, but actually what I asked was quite rare, so I asked to be inside the industrial area for quite long and to have the possibility to film the real life and the direct point of view of workers, and but also managers and other kind of professions inside the industrial area. And actually, I don't know why they gave me the permission, but it happened, and it was it was rare and very so important, and that gave us the possibility to tell a reality which is not so much told, even if should be told like every day in Italy, because I think there is a crisis among the industrial identity of our country, which is a crisis, of course, connected to the crisis of the industrial identity in the world. I mean, but and the relation between development and environment and climate change and everything. But especially in Italy, we didn't find a balance between the enthusiasm of the 50s and 60s when we followed so much the dream of the industrial development and the big crisis of 70s until 90s with all the consequences on the health of people, of workers, and on the environment. And nowadays we are living this strange situation of not taking care of what we want to do with our industrial identity. It's like we had somehow a clash with our dream, and then we don't know what is the destiny of our crisis. And so industrial area and industrial situation, lives are not told even in the cinema, and that's why I found very important and interesting to enter one of these industrial area, and especially the one I chose. It's of course connected also with my biography, because I'm so my origins are from Venice and the area of Venice, but it's not only a question of personal biography, it's also because that area is particularly interesting for the complexity of its story, and also for the fact that it's nearby Venice and inside the very delicate environment of the lagoon of Venice. So
absolutely. It was, for me, it was astonishing, because often when you come from this area and you grew up with this area, sometimes you're a little blind to the things that happen, or you're blind because you're too close. How did you get these extraordinary aesthetic approach with this film, this narrative, this really classic documentary narrative? When did you decide for that, and how was the process with your collaborators?
Well, we tried somehow to be linked, connected somehow with the history of Italian cinematography, which told with a very high aesthetical attention the industrial development of our country, because during the 60s the most important directors in Italy filmed the industrial areas, the new industrial life, the new industrial area of Italy. And we studied this cinematography, we studied the history and aesthetics of this piece of cinema history, Italian cinema history, and we try to somehow be connected and be inspired by their attention to the aesthetical meaning of this area. And because what we felt that was important to give, to find somehow a way to keep, to attract the attention of the audience, because we knew that industrial area is not an interesting topic, is not a fashion topic in this moment, and so we try to give to the audience through aesthetics an experience of entering in a place where we don't want to enter, where we don't care to enter.
Well, from an aesthetic point of view, it's extremely fascinating, and from a political point of view, it's extremely hot in a way, not to say it like this. Let me put it that way. How did they react when they saw it? How was that, the first screening? Did you do something like that?
The first screening, how they react in Venice?
In Marghera, for the people. Did you do something?
Marghera, yeah. But it was, actually the film was, the premiere was in Venice Film Festival, and the day after we organized the screening open air in Marghera, in downtown, let me say, in the center of Marghera, and there were more than 1,200 persons came to watch the film in the square of Marghera. And what I really appreciate, so I was fascinated by the big silence in this square full of people, and they were following the film, which is not an action movie. It's of course a film where you need to listen to the people and to watch. And actually their silence was somehow, I felt that it was not a silent because of my ability of being a director. It was a silent with their consciousness somehow, with their history. It was like a dialogue with the big silence they are listening nowadays around their lives. So Marghera, if you say when I was telling to my colleagues or to other producers or distributors that I was working on a film about Marghera, the main reaction was always like disappointed, and they were telling me, why in Marghera? There is nothing interesting. And people in Marghera, people in all the industrial areas, they know, they feel that they belong to something that is not interesting anymore. And that is really sad and very unjust, because they are in a place which should get the interest of the entire nation and the entire Europe, because the destiny of an industrial area like the one in Venice, like others in Europe, it's connected to our destiny in the relation with our future.
Yeah, it was astonishing to see the closeness of, for example, this shipbuilding in the docks, and it's like very few meters away from La Serenissima, no, where all these ships, all these cruise ships come then back with thousands of tourists who kill the place, or who are supposed to be. So how is this relationship being, I mean, is there right now, due to the coronavirus, is there a change in thinking? Are you in contact with the people from Venice, from Marghera now? Do you know what's changing for them?
As I told you, I live in Rome, but my origin are from Venice, and I'm always in contact there. And I was actually, during the first period of the lockdown, I was in Venice until the end of March. And the impact of the coronavirus, the pandemic, is incredible high in Venice, because Venice, 5% of the reality and life and economy of Venice is linked with global tourism. And so you can imagine how the city changing and how big is the impact. So you have basically you have 80% of 75% of the houses are empty nowadays, because there are no more global tourists, and so the town is like the phantom, the beauty phantom of itself. And so there is a big discussion about destiny and the future, and what happens to the town, and this impact, this relation with the identity of Venice. Somehow, I think it's also connected with a big silence about the of them. So it was like the idea of hide the industrial identity of and to let like disappear Marghera was somehow also connected to the business of show the beauty of Venice, and this kind of conflict in identity nowadays is somehow in the mirror of what is happening after the coronavirus. So it's very.
I read that in research that your new film project was something about an area of Venice where the society changes very much due to all this affluency of tourists. What is happening to this project right now due to all this change? I mean, right now, this time is like really overrunning our real situation. So what are you doing with that right now? Did you start filming already?
Somehow, as I told you, fiction at the beginning of this phone call, reality went faster than fiction, and now my fiction project is trying to listen to the reality, and we are somehow trying to create a new dialogue between the project and the reality. The project was to tell the identity crisis of Venice people in facing the big power of tourism economy. And now the film probably will be about the identity crisis of Venice people understanding the impact of tourism power because of the virus. So it's somehow, I think inside the Venice society, the clash between the ones who will to come back to the tourism power, and the ones who be afraid to come back to this direction will be a big clash, and will be somehow a metaphor of the clash we will have in the humanity after the pandemic. So what we do? We go on like before, or we understand what period is trying to tell us? That I think that is the big question we are facing, and trying to understanding the identity crisis in Venice is very much connected to this big question, the humanity.
Absolutely. Do you see any chance for this industrial place with this crisis to evolve and to have a future in a completely different way?
So my daughter is calling.
Okay. So Andrea, thank you very much. Take care. Good luck for all your projects, and bye-bye.
So much, and enjoy the Web Festival.
Thank you very much for being with us, and take care. I hope to see you in Munich another time, next year maybe. All right, bye-bye. Ja, meine Damen und Herren, das war das Gespräch mit Andrea, dem Regisseur von El Planeta en el Mare. Und jetzt zeigen wir, also Sie werden diesen Film noch sehen können bis zum 24. Mai in unserem Programm. Es lohnt sich absolut. Und er ist auch nominiert für den Publikumspreis, für den Kino-Publikumspreis, der vom Bayerischen Rundfunk und von Dreisat gestiftet worden ist. Und jetzt werden wir Ihnen den Trailer von dem Film zeigen. Morgen um diese Zeit, also wieder um 21 Uhr, werden wir ein Live-Q&A haben für den Film Maiden. Das heißt, bleiben Sie dran, bleiben Sie bei uns und einen schönen Abend nun. Und jetzt sehen Sie den Trailer zu Il Pianeta en el Mare. Auf Wiedersehen.
You already been here before?
Yes.
Yes?
3 times.
Both side, alongside?
Both side, yes.
En Venezo andò donde chi faceva I goti giocando la spinetta e agli giochi mi gote le fugace de quelle de Maleghena go camminavo per terra via Fusina.
Certamente non siamo qui per prendere il sole.
Siamo ancora a Porto Marghera tra 20 anni? Una bella domanda.